Hello dear students, in this experiment we will be studying while loop test method. Now the aim of this particular experiment is to study the underground cable earth fault test using while loop test method. So the objectives would be to study various faults in underground cables, to study various methods to find location of faults, and to understand while loop method of finding fault location. Now we all know in power system there are several faults like open circuit faults, short circuit faults and earth faults. So there are several methods for locating the faults in underground cables. But two are popular ones, that is the Moore loop test and Wale loop test. These simple tests can be used to locate the earth fault or short circuit fault in underground cables, provided a sound cable runs along the faulty one. Both these tests employ the principle of Wheatstone bridge for fault location. Now we are only limiting ourselves to Wale loop method in this experiment. So this method is used to locate earth fault and short circuit fault of underground cables even under high resistance faults. Now we spoke about the two different methods. Now what is the difference in between them? In Wale loop method, the total loop resistance involving the cable is determined experimentally and we are not depending on any assumed value of resistance per unit length of the cable. And the second difference would be the ratio between arms P and Q are always fixed because we are following the Wheatstone bridge technique, correct? So if I look at the equivalent circuit diagram for this particular experiment, I find here there are two arms, P and Q. So it is said that the ratio of these P and Q are fixed resistances. Okay, and it is balanced with the help of this variable resistance S. So here you should have a sound cable or a healthy cable along with the faulty one. Okay, so here you are having a sound cable, a healthy one cable. Okay, and here you are having a fault cable. Let us say this is point F where the fault is occurring. Okay, here you get the fault. This is RF, that is the resistance of the fault. Alright, instead of going directly into the ground, it is having some resistance and battery is connected across the arms P and Q. Alright, so here we are having different resistances. Now if I talk about the sound cable resistance along with this faulty cable resistance, what would be the value? If I consider this, here if I consider the point would from here to here, the resistance would be X. Alright, and if I consider this along with the sound cable to the faulty one, the resistance that would be R is assumed. Alright, let us take this resistance to be R and this resistance to be X. Now this is what we need to find out. Okay, so in this particular Wale loop test, what we do is we have a double pole switch. Alright, so here this is having a double pole switch, so it can be either placed in position 1 or it could be placed in position number 2. Okay, now what will happen if we place it in position number 1? We'll get one equation, and if we place it in position number 2, we'll get another circuit and we'll get another equation, and when we compare these two equations, we get the desired equation to find out the equivalent resistance. The unknown resistance and the distance can be further taken out from this. Alright, so if I consider this to be in position number 1, let me take this in position number 1. So what will happen? Let us consider this in position number 1. Let me take a pen. So I am connecting this. Now I saw this is the ground and this is also a ground. So in short, this will be the connection. So you find the connection to be somewhat like this. So this will be the connection. And this will be entirely gone. It will be deleted from the circuit because I'm not connecting this. So what will be the resistance that will be connected? So from here to here, how much resistance do you have? You have this position C and you have this position F. So what is the resistance in between these two? S and X. So S and X will come together while talking about position number 1. Now let us take for example vice versa. Let us not consider this position. Now let us consider the other one. For position number 1, what was the resistance that was coming under the observation? It was S plus X. But if I consider this one, the position number 2, if I connect this instead of connecting this, so this will not come into picture. That means my path will be completed here itself. Here is my path getting completed. That means this bridge, the point C, will have only S. Correct? Only S will be there, and the remaining will go after the division of the circuit. That means here what will come together? X and R will come together. Alright, so in switch number 1, S and X are coming together, and in switch number 2, X and R are coming together. So let us just demonstrate this. So this is what we get. Alright, to understand this further, let us see the Wheatstone bridge. Alright, what happens to the Wheatstone bridge? Okay, we'll find out what happens to the Wheatstone bridge. Now coming, when it is, the switch is in position number 1, what do you get? This is the circuit that you get, correct? Removing the rest of the circuit, this is the circuit that you get. Here you find S and X are coming together. And you know how to write the Wheatstone equations, right? So here you have P by Q can be written as equal to R upon S1 plus X. So that is how you write the ratio. And if I talk about switch when in position number 2, here you find this is the Wheatstone bridge network that you would get. Here R and X are together, as I've explained earlier. So the equation becomes P by Q is equal to R plus X upon S2. So when you solve these two equations, you get that X is equal to P into S2 minus S1 upon P plus Q. And if I want to find out the loop resistance, it is R plus X, which is equal to P by Q into S1. And further, if I want to find out the distance of the fault from the test, that is also possible. That is D is equal to X upon small r. Okay, where small r is the resistance of the cable per meter length. Alright, this is in meters. So this is how you find out. Now this is the theory behind this particular experiment. Now let us get started with the experiment. This is the experimental kit that we are having. Alright, so here you find this Wheatstone bridge network given to you. Alright, here the equivalent circuit diagram is also given on the kit. Alright, and here you have a sound cable and a faulty cable. So here you find there are set of 6 cables. Alright, you find set of 6 cables. Okay, 3 faulty cables are there and 3 sound cables are there. So cable number 1 and 6, see, numbers are written over here. The cable number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so out of these cables, sound cables are cable 1, cable 2, cable 3. And faulty cables are cable 4, cable 5 and cable 6. So cable 1 and 6, it consists of 6 divisions. Each division considered as fixed resistance, and that is 5 ohms per meter. So it is constant, okay? It is according to the experimental kit. It is 5 ohms per meter. And the total resistance of each cable is 30 ohms. Alright. Similarly, if you talk about cable 2 and cable 5, it consists of 6 division again, and each division considered as fixed resistance of 10 ohms per meter. If I consider cable 2 and 5, okay, so the total resistance of each cable is 60 ohms. And if I consider cable 3 and 4, it is also consisting of 6 division. Each division is considered to have a resistance in between 0 to 9 kilo ohms resistance, and the total resistance of each cable is found out to be 54 kilo ohms. Okay, that is constant value. You cannot change it. You can instead use this while your calculations. So this is given in the experimental kit to you. This is the pre-given data. Alright, now you need to make the connections for this. So here you find connections are really simple. Here you find dotted lines. Okay, here you find dotted lines, here you find dotted, and here you find the dotted lines. You simply have to connect these dots. Alright, initially you have to connect these dots. So P2 to P4, P5 to P6, P14 to P15, P7 to P8, P10 to P11. So this is how you connect. Now this is, we are talking about the upper one, that is VPL 85A. The kit name is VPL 85A and this is VPL 85. Now what about the connection of 85? So here also you have some connections. So P21 is connected to P25. So that is, you have to make the arrangement for that. Then P12 of 85A is connected to VPL 85A to P15 of this. And P13 of this is connected to P22 of this. Further, E of A is connected to the A terminal and E of B is connected to the B terminal. Alright, so while loop test, E of B ground terminal is connected to ground terminal of the faulty locator. Okay, then and this ground point is connected to any of the terminals. You can take any of the terminals, you can take either P24, P25 or P26 of the faulty cable. So initially you have to set the sound cable all to a equal resistance. You have knobs over here, you have to set all these to a constant value. Okay, so we had while performing the experiment we had set it to a equal value. Okay, then you need to power on the supply. All right. Okay, once you're done with this, so this is all about the connections. All right, so once you power on the supply, you find this knob over here which will regulate the resistance. All right, once you start regulating this resistance, you have to observe this galvanometer reading. All right, and once this galvanometer reading turns out to be 0, that means the Wheatstone bridge network is now balanced. It is under the balanced condition. You need to stop, and once it becomes 0, you need to find out the resistance in between these 2 points. All right, that is, you need to find out the value of this. All right, so you will find out the value of S, correct? So let us say for switch 1 it was S1, correct? So let us find out the value of this. First you need to find out the value of R with the help of the multimeter. So what we'll do is we'll find out the value of R. See, here you found that the regulated knob made this reading turn out to be 0. Now let us take the reading. Alright. So for that you can remove this because it is ultimately the resistance you need to find out. Connect the multimeter and you get the reading. So you get the reading as 2.46. So once you get the reading, you can do the calculation. Now the part becomes easy. You know that R1 is 1000. It is given over there. It is mentioned over there. Okay. Then R3 is 100 ohms. Okay. It is also connected and it is written on the kit also. This is what you found out. Okay. The reading was 2.4. With the help of the multimeter we had seen this. Then you can further calculate the value of S1, that is R1 into R3 upon R2. That is, you get the value as 41.66 ohms. Okay, this is the first part. Now this is only S1. We need to find out the value of S2 also. Okay, because switch 2 has to be utilized. So now you have to make certain changes in the connection. All right, for obtaining the value of S2 you have to remove the patch cord. Now firstly obviously power off the supply, then remove the patch cords from the ground terminal of the faulty cable locator and connect to B, all right, of the Wheatstone bridge. Then again turn on the supply, then again you have to rotate this. Now again you have to rotate this. What you have to do, you have to measure a 0 point. So again this value has turned out to be 0, and once it turns out to be 0 you simply have to connect the patch cord over here and see the reading. So here we found that it is 9.64. Alright, then you got this value as 9.64. Again calculate S2, you get 10.36 ohms. So further, what was the calculation you need to do? X. Find out the value of X. X is P into S2 minus S1 upon P plus Q. We saw in the theory how it came, right? So this is the value you get. And if you want to find out the D, the small d, that is the distance of the fault from the test end, then it is capital X upon small r, which is equal to minus 28.45 upon 5, and the value comes out to be this. Now this negative value is only because of my maybe some polarity has gone wrong maybe, so you can have this value. All right, so distance is not measured in what you call negative, so it is ultimately how much meters? 5.69 meters. All right, then for different set of readings you can have different connections of the resistances. All right, you can connect it to different positions in the faulty cable, so distance could vary. All right, so here I have taken some more readings and I have shown in the PPT. Alright, so this is how you find out. So two observation tables you can make with the help of this experiment. And I have also attached the demonstration of this particular video. So what would be the result? Thus, the underground cable short circuit test was studied using the Wale loop test method. Okay, so keep watching for the demonstration. Next would be the demonstration. This is the experimental setup for the Wale loop test. So you find the connections as given in the procedure. You can read it. So here you find the Wheatstone bridge connection is very simple to understand. You find dotted lines over here. You find one dotted line here, one dotted line here, one dotted line here, another dotted line here. Okay, so you have to connect these dotted lines first of all. So connect this dotted line like P5 to P6, then P7 to P8, 11 to 10, and here you find this is unknown. So here something has to be connected. So we are connecting it to the next trainer kit, that is VPL 85. So this one is VPL 85A and this is VPL 85. Okay, now what we are doing is we are connecting this to this position. Okay, so all the instruction has been given in the procedure. Okay, now another setup would be we have to connect R1 for the same. So you have three arrangements for R1. You can either take 100 kilo ohms or 10 kilo ohms or 1 kilo ohm. So here we have selected 1 kilo ohm. Okay, so now here initially this setup is turned on. Okay, then once you want to perform the practical, what you need to do after doing all these experimental setup, the first thing we are finding out is R2. Okay, where is R2 now? You'll find it over here. This R2 has to be taken out, or you have to measure this R2. So how to measure this R2? First without fault and then with fault we are going to see that. So now without fault, how are we going to see? The connection is very simple to understand. Here we have taken, this is what the positives of the supply is given to positive A terminal of Wheatstone bridge, and here the B is given to the earth fault locator. Okay, so this ground cable has been connected over here. So you find it the connection over here. Okay, so here you find this connection is given to any of the points between 24 to 26. Okay, all these things have been mentioned in the procedure. So now you find it over here. So this setup will give you without fault. So we are going to find out R2 without fault. So what we need to do is just turn on the setup. So once the setup is turned on, what we do is we have to regulate the potentiometer to a point till the time we get 0 reading in the galvanometer. Okay, so I'm just turning it, I'm just rotating it. Okay, I just want to turn this galvanometer value to 0. So approximately 0 you find it over here. Okay, approximately there is an error. Okay, so we'll leave it. Okay, so now let us measure the resistance value between P6 and P7, that is R2. That is what we are supposed to find out, right? So let us see what is the value. So here you find that it is 1 kilo ohms. Okay, so the reading for R2 without fault is 1 kilo ohms. Now this is for R2 without fault. Now we are going to see R2 with fault. Okay, so for that you need to bring the potentiometer back to the 0 position. So I am bringing it back to the 0th position. Now you can turn off the supply. Okay, turn it off. Now you have to do some modifications in the connections. Okay, so here this ground terminal has to be removed from here. So we have to remove this. This was the additional thing we had added. Okay, so for fault we are connecting this to B. Okay, again the same thing will be again done. Okay, turn it on. Okay, once you turn it on, again you have to make this potentiometer reading. Potentiometer has to be made in modulated in such a way that galvanometer reading is 0. So what we do is again make it 0.
इधर आएगा
Now this is not going beyond this. Okay, it has to be 0. Okay, there is certain error over here. So 51 is the last reading that we are getting at this point. Okay. लगा. So you find 82.7 approx reading we are getting.